Alright, so I guess I'm going to do a little progress report on my Nuvo Fusion 10. Little 10-gallon Reef Nano. It's been running for about a month and a half at this point, and things are pretty crazy in here. I got some uncured live rock from KP Aquatics right off the coast of Florida, and I had it shipped priority overnight. And all sorts of crazy things came in on it. So there's actually probably only half of my livestock has been added. The rest of it just hitchhiked on, which is pretty awesome. A lot of algae growth on the sides, and I purposefully do not clean that off. I actually like the way it looks, and it provides a hiding place for pods and little snails and other micro life. It's on both sides, you can see. I also just think it looks really nice. And I've got some lettuce nudibranch up here, and they're usually hanging out at the front or on the sides, and they really seem to like the hair algae. So I'm going to leave that on there for now. Here is my curlicue anemone. I can't say that word, so bear with me. That was a hitchhiker. It was invisible when I got that rock in. I had no idea it was there, and it started out as this tiny little bud, and it has just exploded. It's gotten so huge that it's about to touch my mini carpet over there. They're actually almost touching. So I hope that one of them slows down as far as growing. I've had that little carpet there for a few weeks, and it has also probably doubled in size. I just fed them, so that's why there's a whole bunch of schmutz floating around, and the carpet's all crinkled up because he's having some snack. And there's my anemone shrimp, the Petersons. That's an awesome little guy. I love that guy. As far as cleanup crew goes, the only thing I've bought were the nudibranch, some blue leg hermits, and some miniature snails. Other than that, it's pretty much been taking care of itself. I don't know if you can see, but under there's definitely a serpent star, a very tiny one. There's his little leg, and that was a hitchhiker. I see him come out every once in a while. I think there's actually a couple of them, but that one's hiding spot right there. Fan worm. There's countless fan worms in here, and I didn't really buy any of them. Also countless sea squirts, which I'm told are really hard to keep, but I have a ton of them. They're all different colors. There's some right there. There's some red ones up behind the carpet you might not be able to see. And there's some clear ones. There's one that's right next to a fan worm right there. And let's see if I get... There they are. There's some that have formed right there. Clear ones. And they've grown over the past few weeks, so I'm doing something right if I've got all those guys in there. A buttload of spheroid worms. There they are. My lab rock is just absolutely covered in them. And little fan worms and tube worms and spaghetti worms and bristle worms and pretty much any worm you can think of, I've got it. There's more spheroid worms there. A lot of macroalgae has been growing, which there wasn't any when I started. So now I have a bunch of different kinds. Got some of the seaweed looking... I'm not very good at the names of the macroalgae, so bear with me. There's little like mermaid brush looking things there. I've got red algae, I've got green algae, I've got blue algae, I've got Cheeto, and all sorts of craziness. Here's some polyps, blue ones and orange ones. I did buy those. I also bought the green ones and the mushrooms here. So all the corals are bought. There's some Recordia there that I'm pretty fond of. And there's something tucked away in there. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's alive. It moved. thinking some sort of bivalve clam something. There's also some pencil urchins that have appeared, and of course now that I'm filming they are not out. They're very small. There's at least 2 of them. Crazy things going on in here. There's that, I don't know what that is. It's some sort of snail. It's got a spiky shell. And it started out as a little nothing and it's gotten a lot bigger. There's a stomatella in here somewhere, but they're usually nocturnal, so we probably won't see him. He's pink. He's very cute, very fast. There's some other hitchhiker snail back there. I did not buy that snail. It's just, every time I look in here, I find something new, and it's been pretty great so far. As far as maintenance goes, I am very hands-off when it comes to my tanks. Always have been. I don't like the super clean, sterile look that some people go for. I like things to be very dirty and crowded and gritty, because it's the ocean, you guys, so it's supposed to be covered in life and gross things and weird things, and, you know, I just like to encourage that. Saw for a moment one of my sexy shrimps. There's his little bottom. I've got 5 sexy shrimp in here, but they also like to hide. I'll probably be getting more eventually. I'm a fan of small ornamental shrimp. They have a lot of character. Fanworms, polyps. There's another fanworm right there. It's a really interesting looking fanworm. It's got a really interesting shape and some red and pink bands on him. It's underneath the carpet. This carpet's pretty big when he stretches out. It's just really nice lavender and green. Some more fans over here, and more little colonies of sea squirts there. They're just everywhere. It's another fan. I know the zoom on my camera isn't so great, but there it is. Fanworm. What's going on up here? I feel like I need to get a magnifying glass sometimes so I can see what's going on. Anyway, maintenance, like I said, really hands off. Most of my focus is starting with extremely clean water, so I only do distilled water in here. I don't bother. The tap water in this house is disgusting because it was built in the 30s, so I don't trust it even with chemical additives. So distilled water only, and I start with a really high quality salt mix. I use Red Sea Mix. What is it? Let me look real quick. Coral Pro salt, and I also dose with Reef Plus by Seachem. And that's it as far as additives. I don't add anything else in there. Just the Reef Plus and the Coral Pro salt. With distilled water, I change 10 to 20% once a week. So 1 to 2 gallons every week, depending on a lot of factors. I feed a lot. And I know you're not, well, it's not really encouraged, just because it makes things dirty very quickly, especially in a tank this size. But I have a lot of animals in here, a lot of life, obviously, as you can see, so try to make everybody happy. So I know for a fact that I overfeed my tank, and I don't have a problem with it, and no one in here seems to have a problem with it. Frequent water changes, and having just a lot of animals, a lot of creatures, a lot of algae to absorb everything that I put in there. Seems to be working out fine. I I've never really had any detectable nitrates, ammonia at all, not even during cycling. I soft cycled when I got the live rock in, so when I first started the tank, I did a water change every day. Usually about a 20% water change every day for a week, and then every other day. Basically trying to keep everything absolutely undetectable and to save as many living creatures as I could, and it's worked out amazingly. I've never had this much survive on live rock before, and this is probably my 4th or 5th reef tank. It's absolutely worth it. Completely worth it. I'm finding things that I had no idea even existed in this tank. I'm learning new things every day, and it's just fascinating. I love sitting here and watching what's going on, because there's always something going on in here, you guys. Got some red algae popping up there. That's new. That's only been there for a day or two. I've also got spots of coralline algae on my walls already, which for a tank that's only like a month and a half old is pretty amazing. I've been told that you're really not supposed to expect coralline algae for 6 months, a year. And I don't use any additives to encourage that sort of thing. I just have very stable water and getting a really good, starting with a really good foundation. Like I said, you just buy really high quality live rock, high quality salt mix, high quality water, and that's it. It sounds really simple because it is. I think people make it way too complicated. Alright, so there's a hydroid jellyfish in here. There it is. Oh, it's going to be really hard to film this little dude. That little white speck that's just floating, there he goes. So that's a hydroid jellyfish, and that's the first time I've seen one of them in here. I knew they were coming because I could see their little larval spawn, and I'm not sure what you call them. I've seen them on live rock before. They're very, very cute. I love them, actually. They don't last very long in reef tanks, but there he goes. I got one. There he goes. Along with a whole bunch of little mysis-looking animals. I've got pods out the wazoo. I am overrun with pods. So actually, let me turn the pump off. It's a lot easier to see the little tiny critters when your pump's not running. I am seeing many hydroids now that I've turned the water off. There they go. See him making his way towards the top there. Wow. And in my experience, if I turn the pump off, they will all go to the surface of the water, and we'll be able to see them a lot easier. I've got a lot of pods in my sand bed. I've got a lot of them in the algae that live on the side of the tank. I have copepods, amphipods, every single pod you can think of. Let's see what's going on over here. My curlicue, taking the time to clean up a little bit over here. You can see things flitting around down at the sand level. It's hard to focus up, but you can see them. They are absolutely everywhere. Oh, hydroid, there you are. I wonder if I'll be able to... Ooh, there he goes. That's a little tiny baby jellyfish, you guys. They are so cute. And like I said, they don't last very long. They tend to explode in this big cloud, and then they're gone. I'm guessing this, reef tank setup's not really the best for trying to raise jellyfish, but, it's cute to have them. It's nice to have them while they're here. It's so relaxing. Little slugs. I love my slugs. They're very cute. And they just love munching on that hair algae. And they eat it so slowly that even having 2 of them doesn't put a dent on anything. These big huge bunches on the walls I'll probably have to pull off at some point if they start encroaching on everything else, but for now it's fine. As far as equipment goes, the back, I rely pretty much 100% on biological filtration and a little bit on mechanical. You can see I've got some floss up there, and that's to keep the sea slugs from getting sucked into the back, because they do a lot often if you don't have a cover in there. In the back, I pretty much have nothing but a whole bunch of Cheeto algae. Lots and lots and lots of it. I actually need to take some out because it's getting really crowded back there. And that's it. That is it. I do not run a protein skimmer. I don't run any other kind of filter whatsoever. And I never have. I'm not a fan. I said I keep things dirty. That's how I like it. And it's working out pretty well for me so far. I've upgraded the pump, so it's a lot stronger. I put the spin stream on there, which, you know, spins the water direction around, keeps things nice and, you know, flowing in different directions. Very few dead spots in the tank. Even in the bag, there's still water movement, so not very much collects back there. Thankfully, I don't have to mess around much. Nanobox mini light, which has a Bluefish Wi-Fi controller on it over there, so I can actually control the lights from my phone anywhere, which is pretty cool. I mean, a little unnecessary, but I like gadgets, so it's nice to be able to adjust the light cycle in tiny, tiny increments. I can even attach it to GPS coordinates and have it mimic weather anywhere in the world if I want. It's also got a moon light on it, and these guys seem to love the new light so far. I've also got an auto top-off system. It's the hydrofill, also made by Innovative Marine, same company that makes the tank. It was a very expensive auto top-off, but it works pretty fucking well so far. 2 sensors to help keep things from malfunctioning and overflowing. And that thankfully hasn't happened yet. There's my top-off container there. And then bits and bobs and doodads and a bajillion cords and a little surge protector. And there's the hydrofill. And I also have a little nano heater in there. It's really just kind of a insurance policy. My room stays warm/cool enough that I don't think the heater goes off very often at all. The light keeps things pretty warm, so I'm sitting usually at 78 degrees. I'm gonna put the filter back on. There we go. See, I've got some algae growing on the spin stream there, which looks pretty nice, like having ribbons on a fan almost. Ooh, everybody brace yourselves. Livestock plans. Oh, there's one of my sexies. Hello. Oh, cutie. I said there's 5 of them in here, but God knows where they are. Future plans for livestock, no idea. I change my mind on it all the time. Right now I'm just focusing on invertebrates and soft corals. I'm probably not going to do any hard corals. There's my red fan worms up there. Probably not going to do any hard corals. I'm not really a fan of them. I like soft corals, polyps, mushrooms, Rorquardia, things like that. Probably getting some star polyp soon from a friend of mine. focusing on the inverts, because I love shrimp, so I'll probably get some more of those. Bumblebee shrimp, maybe some more sexy shrimp. I don't know, just like to keep it weird. I don't know if I'll get any fish in here at all. I don't really think it's necessary. If I do, it'll be a really tiny thing. Like a possum wrasse or something. Who knows? Anyway, that was a really long update. So, thanks for looking, I guess.